happy you guys don't get to hear all of our before this conversations. Good morning. Welcome to SJU. It's Friday. I know it's weird. Everything is different. There's no rocks. I'm sorry. You get a Radford instead. But you also get Ed. You get Spencer, you get Dan, and we have got some things to talk about in addition to some Fan Friday questions. We're going to talk about, obviously, that new sick AF Terminator sequel trailer. It is sick AF. We'll talk later. We're going to talk about the new ObiWan series. But first, story number one, no fate, but the sequel Terminator makes via Paramount and Deadline. The Terminator Dark Fate sequel trailer, or the trailer has been released. Sorry, I'm very tired. I can't talk. It's fine. The trailer's been released. I'm sure you have all watched it many, many times. So we've all seen it. And I think that there are some differing opinions around the table. I shall go first. It is sick AF. Who else has? Yes. See, look at that. Skulls, man, robots, drones. Sarah Connor, what do you want? Tank tops? Chicks with them big guns just to flex in? What do you need?
Venom bots?
No, look,
saw the Venom bots?
Those are murderous 3D printers, and I am all in. What do you think, Spencer?
Nope. It's a big fat nope from me. Look, it's like seeing the Rolling Stones in 2019. You know, they're legends, but then you see them just like kind of bird walking around the stage, and like they look like they're about to die.
Okay, but what if the theme of their show was we're the Rolling Stones and we're about to die?
Okay, but it doesn't look like they've embraced that here. It seems like they're trying to pass the torch to to another thing, and we've seen this before.
They're just a shot away. They're just a shot away.
We've seen this before. We've been duped 4 times since Terminator 2. I'm not getting fooled no more.
Oh, wait a minute. What was it Dan who said that this is the Lucy with the football of franchises?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That's a classic line, and I love it.
But they know that we did. Like, there was a whole article that came out. I am such a Terminator 2 stan. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. Easily top 5.
And we'll always have T2.
I know, but now I get to have the T3 I should have had. More thumbs up from robots.
Well, Danielle, you defend the Terminator. It's what you do. It's all you do. You know. I get it. I do get it. And I, frankly, am with you in regard to the sick action gags. I don't see a story besides a lot of skulls falling and a new Mary. As in Virgin Mary?
I have a suspicion here. I think we're being baited and switched a little bit. I think this is going to be, I suspect that this movie is going to be like 70-30 new people. And they're leveraging Arnold and Linda Hamilton to get people in.
Oh, yeah,
and
they're tired.
Going to
they're not doing a full movie.
Mostly the new people.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I would say that they're probably going to be in less than a third of the movie.
Heck yeah, give me that butch chick all day long.
I mean, certainly Arnold. Arnold's got a scene or 2 tops.
This reminds
me, he did that last time.
This reminds me of like an Alien Covenant situation where Ridley Scott wanted to make a weird Prometheus sequel, but they were like, you can't do that unless you put the xenomorph in it. And he was like, all right, so I'm going to have Michael Fassbender still gets to flute himself, but we have to sell on the iconography of the xenomorph, so we're also going to do that. And I get.
Can you change the line? Now I'll do the fingering.
Yes,
no, you're gonna keep that. That's part of the condition. Okay, all right,
whatever you need.
Whatever.
I've been hurt so many times by this franchise, and I just don't. I don't know if I can open my heart.
Dan, we're in this together.
Again. I don't know if I can open my heart again.
Let my optimism just ooze all of that. Gross. Let my optimism just embrace you.
I try, but I feel like I'm at the bottom of the lava. Of the
giving a thumbs
liquid
down.
steel.
It goes down to the molten steel.
I hope I'm wrong, but that's the thing is I gave Terminator Genesis every benefit of the doubt before it came out.
James Cameron, they paraded him around.
Yeah.
Saying, oh yeah, we're back. We're back, baby.
Okay, but speaking,
it's I'm protecting myself from disappointment.
Well, speaking of parading James Cameron around, thank you for the good segue. We'll get to some of these other questions. So he spoke to Deadline about his role in the new film, and he was basically like, I was a producer, and then maybe on the day of, I would do some changes. Maybe that wasn't 100% the right thing to do, but I did it. Which I feel like it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're James Cameron. You don't need to justify that you did. I mean, it sucks for everyone else, but that's what you did. He did Punch Up, which I guess I don't ever can think about James Cameron doing Punch Up, but good for him. And they mentioned that they recognized when going back and looking at the other more disappointing movies that the problem was it didn't have the sense of urgency of this one. And this one is going back to...
This feels urgent. We need another Terminator movie.
I did.
Now.
But also it's the fact that like this one takes place within like 36 hours and that's what makes it feel like important, and they're not getting too into the lore and getting sucked up into that, which thank God. I just need butch women with guns. I can't stress this enough.
Then just call it Butch Women with Guns.
Someone's already done that, I'm sure. That's got to be an asylum
You
film.
know there's going to be time travel malarkey all over this script. And, you know, it's written by... I'm glad James Cameron did Punch Up because the screenwriter, it's one guy I've never heard of with one credit that I've never heard of, and David Goyer. And David Goyer, as we know, is
really?
Yeah. Batman Begins, Batman vs Superman,
Well, and the
Blade Trinity.
But the other dude was the guy who did the Terminator Sara Chronicles, which was really good, the TV show.
The other co-screenwriter?
Yeah, he was the dude who did the TV show.
I thought I looked this up before, and he was an editorial assistant on Boyhood. That was,
That's
a lot of responsibility.
That's years of work.
I'm pretty sure he worked on Sarah Connor Chronicles.
that would be cool.
See?
Keep talking, I'll look it up.
Say that 5 times fast.
I cannot. I am so I made the mistake of going to a work party last night. I had one drink and my body said, "What are you doing? You just got over being sick."
Can we just call it the Sara Chronicles?
Yeah.
Chronicles, yeah.
Chronicles. Okay, speaking of Sara, were y'all annoyed by the "I'll be back"?
They've been doing that in every movie since.
Right?
I'm not. I can't. It's Linda Hamilton. If it was Arnold saying it, I'd be like, ugh.
Right.
But it's Linda Hamilton, and I like Linda Hamilton, and she's really. Any excitement that I have with this film is tied more or less directly to Linda Hamilton.
Right. Well, but also I think they're doing a little bit. It's smart in one way. It'll turn a lot of people off, but it's smart in one way because one of the best parts about Terminator 2 and I guess this movie is that Sarah Connor, in order to survive, had to become a Terminator. Mm-hmm. She had to become that which she hated the most, and that's an interesting story thing. Like, now she is a Terminator. She wasn't there when Homeboy said that line. She has that utter confidence and indestructibility of her own character to say a line like, "I'll be back at throw a grenade now." I think that's sort of interesting if you look at where she's come from. Mm-hmm. You know, hiding in a 80s bar to being a hardcore person with all this agency.
Yeah, and maybe that's after they've mercy killed Arnold from the franchise, and that was like her friend, so she's quoting him as she walks away from the explosion.
Yeah.
Wait, what if that's the last line of the movie?
I'll be back.
What if it's like a Castaway situation where they just showed us the last minute, the last second of the movie?
I don't think I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm gonna because it's so funny. So when I did the press line for Terminator 2 or for Terminator 3: Dark Fate, whatever. When I did the press line for this movie, I'm like sitting there holding my microphone because we're doing some tests, and Linda Hamilton walks right behind me, and I turn, and I think it looks like I'm trying to like get her to interview, but I'm just like so excited that she's there, and she turns and she sees me and she goes, "I'll be back." She did not come back. I did not get the interview with her. She was too busy with some of the other bigger outlets.
That's funny.
It hurt a little bit. We had that on tape somewhere, and they refused to put it in when we did the
we have to see this.
Yeah,
it's not her fault.
No.
They have no control almost, unless you're like Tom Cruise or somebody. You have functionally no control over who you talk to.
You are being
You're literally
led by
being
somebody.
driven
Talk to this person.
Cameras.
Right.
Yes. It was pretty amazing. And so, does the Cameron stuff give you more confidence in this, or are you still like meh because of all of the
They
times
already
you've been
tried.
fooled?
That's the thing. They tried it out last time. I feel like I'm taking crazy pill. We've already done this. He never got out of the cock-a-doodie car. It's like we're on repeat. I can't go through this again, Danielle. I went through it with Terminator Genesis. I can't do it again. I hope it's great, but I cannot allow myself the audacity of hope.
Yeah.
with this movie.
Well, I still have the hope of a childlike child. Cameron did mention this could be the first of 3 films, which we have heard every single time they try to do Terminator. Yep. Dan is just going to shrink down into it. We don't have the sinking chair anymore. Now it's just going to be Dan shrinking into himself.
Remember the end of Genesis when Jai Courtney and Emilia Clarke set off onto that farm into the future for their next couple movies?
Don't throw Jai Courtney at me if you want to talk about
and
yeah. I mean, come on. I saw in the cast list Eddie Furlong's in this one. That's cool.
Well, John Connor is in this.
No, it's Eddie Furlong.
But they didn't say how. I was reading about this. It's like parsing the words. They said that Eddie Furlong will somehow make an appearance in this movie, but they did not clarify whether that was like digital recreation of footage from Terminator 2 or if like Eddie Furlong himself will actually be coming
or if it's
back.
like a Ghostbusters 2016 type cameo where like Dan Aykroyd's like, I'm not afraid of ghosts, where he's
Eddie
like,
Furlong's-
hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah.
Hi. And then like Looney Tunes thing like shrinks down on him.
Oh, I want to see
folks.
that footage of Eddie Furlong driving the Uber. I'm not going to make that joke. All right, well, again, the thumbs up all day. I like the trailer. Let us know what you thought. We've got some more great stuff coming up. But first of all, make sure that you like and subscribe. We are Fandom. There's some great things happening on fandom.com. You can go check out, again, we've got our great Fandom Uncovered. Go make sure you check that out. We've got Honest Trailers. We've got the Honest Trailer commentaries that we did. All kinds of great things. Also, we have got a great Screen Junkies show that just went up. The Summer Movie Review of 2019.
Yes. To clarify for those that have said that we have garbage taste, our lists are not the movies. Our lists are not the movies we thought were the best. It's box office, which we say at the top of the show, but people need things explained to them. Some of them. So it's not. We're not reviewing the movies. We're recapping the summer to go over. It's box office. It's not. I did not think The Lion King was the best movie of the summer.
Did y'all not watch our
even close.
review? We had it was like minutes long. It's fine.
Minutes.
They see a top 10, they think it's Dan's
like-
top 10.
Yeah. I mean, they're not watching because it's all the people that are just like, oh, this normie channel thought Lion King was the best movie of the summer, unsubbed. It's like, well, I don't know what to tell you, man. We literally told you what we were doing at the top of the show, and you just didn't listen.
All right. Well, be a normie.
Get hyped.
Get hyped.
It's
for
a fun
everything.
episode, though, is what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like we're not sitting there talking about the best movie. It's like it's numbers, which means it's fun for me.
Numbers are fun, you guys. Get into math. Speaking of math, boom, boom, bang. Obi wandering 8 years after Sith. Well done, Ryan. So new details from the Star Wars show have shined light on the timeline regarding the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series. It will take place 8 years after Revenge of the Sith, which means like Luke Skywalker is about 8 years old. It's going to take place during the time jump in Solo, during the time Han is an Imperial soldier, and while Lando still owns the Falcon, and I presume is still, angsty rapping. Some characters from Solo could conceivably cross over. I don't want it. So
I don't want
it.
I don't want
It's not
your
mine.
Star Wars.
It's not for me.
Your Grace, Darth Maul is here to see you. I don't want it.
I just don't. No. So, does knowing more about?
Just want to farm my moisture.
No, please.
Keep interrupting you, Danielle.
No,
I
please,
apologize.
because there's not a lot of meat on this bone
Okay,
for me.
all right.
Unless y'all have like a whole lot that you really want to say about this Obi-Wan.
I've seen what's out there. Sun people. Them action.
Okay, but so does knowing more about where the Obi-Wan Kenobi series sits on the timeline, does that give you more kind of thoughts? What we're going to do here is a segment I like to call Let's Speculate Wildly, where we speculate wildly about something that we know very little about, and a lot of like little bits and pieces of it are coming in slowly. So does this give you more thoughts about what this might be about, or?
Gosh, I don't know. The only thing I'd be excited for is if this verifies the one good Star Wars fan theory, which is that Obi-Wan hiding under Ben Kenobi, terrible disguise.
I want to see when he has to go in and do that name change. Like, does he have to go into like a district court?
The
Sorry.
space DMV or something.
I think, at Tatooine, you just say, oh, I'm Ben now. And then Luke Skywalker, not very well hidden on Anakin Skywalker's home planet with his relatives. So the only thing that makes this all make sense to me is if Obi-Wan is using Luke as bait to get Darth Vader to come back to Tatooine, and he's just gonna pop out of the cave.
Luke is just staked, like he's just sort of tied to a stake like that goat.
He's a piece of meat.
In Jurassic Park, and just like, all right, here, the T-Rex is coming.
He's the goat in the T-Rex cage for Darth Vader. That is the only thing that makes sense for all of this.
Darth Vader doesn't want to be fed. Darth Vader wants to hunt.
Well, that's why I gave him like a speeder, so it's kind of a challenge. So Luke's got his little convertible cruising around, and Obi-Wan is just hiding in a cave. 8 years later, he's like, I'm gonna get my second shot, and he's got like this Acme like a Wile E. Coyote diagram of like Luke arrow to Luke, Darth Vader comes down,
bunch of dashes.
big magnet, yeah, I pop out and whack him with the lightsaber a few times.
I think if there is a problem with this, it is the fact that like obviously nothing he did affected any change. You know what I mean? It's sort of this came from Kung Fu situation. I bet you they're going to do. It's sort of like an overarching story, but mostly it's him wandering around, trying not to be found out as this. Because if he's found out as the Jedi that people are looking for, then he gets killed, and then Luke has no protector. Blah blah. Maybe it's like an Incredible Hulk with Jedi. Like McGee is chasing you throughout the '70s, and you got to walk away.
There is one part of Obi-Wan that no one has ever touched on that I would like to see. Do we think in this series that Obi-Wan frolics?
No, he's a Jedi. They're sexless.
Attachment is forbidden.
Yeah.
But when there's no Jedi, though, it's like those dudes who like don't know the war is over, so they just keep warring.
Uniform, man. It's not like he's gonna.
I'm just saying that's what he'd act. I'm sorry, if the whole crap house fell down, I wouldn't still be doing that stuff. I'd go native like a mug.
You're saying he showed more people than Luke Skywalker his lightsaber.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so.
Tatooine is a boring planet.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. There's some Tusken Raider lady with a story.
I'm perfectly content with an asexual Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
I don't need another Jedi love
The whole
story.
world of Star Wars, I'm fine.
Okay, wait.
I'm sorry.
Fate has confined you to the worst situation ever. You got magical powers, but you join the one magical power group that won't let you have any sex, and then their whole crap house falls down because they're stupid and rigid in their dumb rules, and that's part of why they get shot in the back of their heads. And then you're gonna keep those rules up the whole time when they're all gone?
No, it's
crazy.
one I always assume it's one or the other. Like you could very easily get too horny for the Force, and then you can't do it anymore.
Oh.
Like you have to purge yourselves. Wink, wink. Of your desires.
Anakin spent so much time being horny. I'm sorry.
And that's why he went evil. They did
Crispy toast on the bank of a lava river. So that's what it's like a horror movie. That's what happens when you have sex in a Star Wars movie. You get burnt by lava.
Well, at least they didn't get his junk, though. I mean, legs, arms.
I want to see a prequel about player Darth Maul, because he must have been really the horniest thing, literally horny in the galaxy. To get two lightsabers.
I will say this opens the door for my pitch, my dream pitch of this Obi-Wan series, and it ties into the fact that Luke was so poorly hidden on Tatooine, which is a foiled Tatooine intrigue plot about a bounty hunter who comes to Tatooine looking for Luke Skywalker, and Obi-Wan's race against the clock to keep him from finding him.
Okay.
That'd be so much fun.
All right.
Yeah, well, that sounds like 3:10 to Luke Skywalker, and I definitely get that.
Yes.
3:10
to Mos Eisley.
Yeah. Yep. No, I definitely get that, and I think that could be cool. But it seems like they're doing a longer story. It doesn't seem so compressed for time. I bet it's more wandering adventure, just so they could see.
You think it's like a mission of the week? Like, a Jawa is having trouble with a droid. Oh, go over there.
Well, dude, and that's another thing with Jedi powers. There's not too many situations that you couldn't resolve, but they might be hard to resolve without revealing who you are.
Well, and we
So
know,
maybe that's the crux.
we also know that
Do you
you
think
and
it's like a Hannah Montana situation?
oh yes.
Did you see Obi-Wan Kenobi dip out and spin around like Wonder Woman and his robes on?
I want it to be like a speeder thing because we all know that like Ewan McGregor, he loves his going out on his motorcycle and discovering what real life is about, man. So I think he does that, but just on a speeder.
Okay.
With all the privilege of knowing that if something goes wrong, nothing can really go wrong.
Yeah.
But I certainly understand that.
All right, so that was our horny Star Wars run. Sorry to everyone. So next we've got fan questions. Falcor J says, Thundercats, how will we? Oh, very nice. That's your face.
Yeah.
That's Benny G.
Don't do anything in front of a green screen if you don't want it to live forever.
Because it will live forever.
Aliens will think that's our official language.
Yeah, it
At
is.
some point. All right, then, get it right.
Not a chance.
So they want to know, will we ever get a good Thundercats movie? Who do you want to direct and star in it in animation versus live action? I'm just going to come out and say I want it to look just like Cats. Go.
Wow. Digital fur tech?
Oh, I want it.
Yeah.
Oh, I want it. It's not going to be good and no one's going to see it but me, but they should definitely spend all of those millions of dollars for something that's just for Danielle.
Yeah, like, what do you mean good Thundercats movie? Like, come on.
It's not a good cartoon. It's good because we were children.
Yeah,
But I loved
like
it.
all things. But you know, I think give it to Taika. Let Taika take a swing. He seems to, honor the spirit and the campiness of the '80s while still making it fun for today. I
That's
don't know.
great.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a prestige take?
I think we're getting it. As you mentioned, Cats.
Cats. Yeah.
What is Cats but Prestige Thundercats?
Yeah. Scaled back.
Dude, I really can't think of anybody epic enough to direct. I would want somebody who's very good at immersive filmmaking because that world takes place on such an alien place.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have infrastructure till Panthro comes down there, and builds everything for them. So it's like they got to build a big. I don't know. That world is so primitive and weird and magical, and then the Thundercats represent like science coming there for almost the first time and being sort of being at odds. So.
Uh-oh.
We gotta walk
Joe
outside.
has Thundercats thoughts, and we almost fought about it in the writer's room, so it's going to be all right.
This is a terrible show. It's not good. Theme song slaps, and then from there, it's really bad. Here's the thing no one remembers about Thundercats. In the premise, they escape Thunderworld. What the hell's their
Thundera.
Cat Scratch Fever Town. And their spaceship breaks, and he goes in hypersleep, and so his body ages, but his brain doesn't. So he's like a small boy in a He-Man body, and no one remembers that weird little part. But so then basically this weird small boy in a super strong body, goes and on a daily basis goes and bugs this old man in a hospice room who has to pump himself up full of steroids to chase off the weird kid. It's a bad show. It's a weird premise. It's a very bad show. I don't like it.
All right.
It just seems like that would be such Joe Starr. That seems like that would be.
Catnip.
This is a guy who loves Rodimus Prime.
Right.
By the way.
Rodimus Prime.
Thundercats is a weird concept, but the one about robots that turn into trucks is...
They're in disguise, Dan!
Oh, he turns into a tape? Okay. Yeah.
It's like, he's hiding as, let's get physical. He's just hiding as some
In the
really
80s, that was
innocuous
a good
songs.
disguise.
Yeah, exactly.
It's everywhere.
Everyone had that one. All right, so next we've got Marceline Abadiris. Asks, I know, is there a piece of media, book / movie / comic book / TV show that you loved as a kid and insists on its superiority?
Should we bring Joe back for this?
I was about to say Thundercats and Silverhawks and to a certain extent He-Man.
Yeah, so basically they want to know like what thing did we love when we were younger that just does not hold up to rewatches? And here comes Joe Starr.
Guys, come back. He's coming back with the Coke Zero.
You guys, Thundercats is a bad show, and it doesn't hold up anymore.
But did you once love it?
Yeah, I was like a dumb kid. Yeah.
All right.
I love cars that turn into robots.
Yeah.
Of course I love Thundercats, but it's bad. It's bad.
Confirmed
You
bad.
like it.
For me, it's definitely Gem and the Holograms. That's one that I loved so much as a kid, and I attribute it for part of why I like superheroes so much, because there is that thing of like a secret identity. And then you go back, and every single episode is Gem and the Holograms go do something charitable. Misfits get real cranky that they weren't allowed to be there. Misfits try to get real angry about it. Gem holograms her hologram butt off, and then in the end, the farm is saved, or the orphans have a home, or whatever.
Yeah.
But what was really whack about that show is, from what I remember, I used to be babysit by a whole cadre of girls. So they would sit me down in front of Gem and the Holograms, and I watched Gem and the Holograms.
Why did you have more than one babysitter?
Oh, no. I was a handful, Spencer. I was a handful. I was everywhere. I was like Jack.
They needed a whole babysitters club.
That is a sitcom.
Who's watching Eddie? That's what it was called. Okay. I got too fat for it. so
You grew out of your own sitcom.
2, 3.
they're trying to lift me up like Simba, and the arms are snapping.
They brought in a younger cousin Oliver to replace you.
Oh yeah, and I hated him with
And
a
he's
passion.
light skinned for no reason.
Oh yeah. It's like, wait, it doesn't even match. So yeah, but they made me watch Gem and the Holograms, and one thing I was always struck by. The Misfits music slapped harder.
It was
than
so much
Gem's.
better.
Yeah.
Gem and the Holograms would come up with these corny jams, and Misfits would be like, "Yeah, boy, bass, how low can you go? Death row."
Wow, they have a lawsuit in their hands.
Well, look, they're all owned by Hasbro. So.
That's right. Wow.
I will say for me, the one that I remembered as a whole fondly, because there's some that I revisited like X-Men, and I actually still quite enjoy it.
It's still really good.
The one that I remembered fondly as a whole was the original, the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. And I bought like the first 2 volumes on DVD, and what I quickly realized was that my memory of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon was the first 4 episodes, where they tell the story about Krang and the Technodrome, and it's all interconnected, and and I realized after I got past that the rest of it was not quite as good as I had recalled in my mind.
That's quite as good. That's quite charitable.
I'm sure there are many people that would. I'm sorry, Andre Meadows. I
We love you, Black Nerd.
Yes, I understand why so many others enjoy it, but it was the one thing that I revisited that I realized that my memory of it was very confined to a very specific run of episodes, and beyond that run, did not quite hold up as well as I had thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like things that are good and for kids are a rarity, like today and in the 80s. So it's like, yeah, most things suck later.
Yeah,
don't
they
they?
do.
Like
Yeah.
they're.
Well, but even most things for adults suck. When
Yeah.
you really look at the march of time, things become classics because, those 2 movies from 1978, not 1978, but those 3 movies from X year were the thing that we remember from that year.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
when you're a kid, you're seeing everything for the first time.
Right.
You're easy to impress. You don't know what a trope is.
Yeah.
It's all new to you. And Marceline mentions Dragonheart, which I loved. I'm sure it's
love
terrible.
Dragonheart.
I'm sure it's awful now. I am the lost one. There's no way that's good. There's no way that CGI looks good today.
Guys, they were best friends.
No, one from my youth, syndication when I was a kid was a treasure trove of stuff that you can't even like right now. Like, I recall watching a lot of Dukes of Hazzard, frankly.
Ooh.
I recall watching them jump
Can't
over.
have that lunchbox now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, can't even.
Stars and bars.
Yeah, stars and bars. Again, behind bars. So yeah, you can't like that. And then, but Airwolf.
Yes.
Dude, because when you think of your memories as a little kid, it's just all the helicopter flying hella fast, helicopter that's faster than jets, blows your mind as a kid. Helicopter faster than jets, tell me more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you watch the show, it's 53 minutes of Stringfellow Hawk and Dominic Santini sitting in hangars or doing some goofy espionage that sucks, Mayberry-ass espionage they're trying to do, and then 2 minutes of stock footage of a helicopter going this way, helicopter going that way, stock footage of a missile, episode over. You're like, this was the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life.
Not to you.
And we remembered how dope it was as a kid because all you remember are the good parts.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a relationship.
Space Jam's bad. Space Jam's really bad.
Space Jam's
It is.
bad. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even really watch it and be like, oh, I'm just gonna geek out. It's almost like unwatchably bad.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah. So yeah, most things are.
Most
Sorry.
things are bad, guys. Sorry.
Enjoy everything now, and then just I think it's proper to be embarrassed later. I think that's the natural order of things.
Saved by the Bell is garbage.
Yes.
But I love it.
Oh, I'll still watch Saved by the Bell.
I'll watch the hell out of Saved by the Bell, but no. If some kid came home today that was my age when I came home and watched Saved by the Bell for 3 hours, and you forced them to watch Saved by the
And
Bell
you'd
for 3
have to.
hours, and
Yeah.
you'd have to, they would think it was torture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't hold up. But I love it because I loved it when I was a kid.
All right. Well, speaking of things that do hold up, Ed, you want to show the people that awesome shirt that your mom bought you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We have to. It's amazing.
My mom,
So money.
My mom bought me this shirt, and she said, and I quote, "It'll make you look more showbiz." So this is my mom's conception of
That's
showbiz.
the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life, and that is where we're going to end the show,
I
y'all.
love it.
It's like a vision board you can wear.
Thank you for hanging out with
Showbiz,
us on another SJU.
Baby.
There it is. The
We'll see you
irreplaceable
next
accent.
week. Don't forget, Monday we're not going to be around. It's going to be a pre-tape. We love you. Bye.
Bye.